Good day, fellow novice adventurer. Looks like it's that time again when you step foot into a new slice of Azeroth, but this time it weirdly has something to do with turtles? Well, in any case, I'm here to quickly go over some of the information that will surely help you in reaching your desired goals when it comes to leveling, whether that be having a challenge, doing it as quickly as possible, or just trying something new. Well, first things first. Seeing as Turtle WoW is a vanilla server, you have to understand leveling isn't all that fast. In other terms, the leveling speed is 1x, meaning it's the same as it was back in 2004 when the game came out. In this server, leveling is part of the adventure. It's not just this annoying part which you try to suffer through until you reach endgame. It's actually pretty big and it'll take some time. In Turtle WoW, besides the usual leveling, they actually offer multiple ways of deciding on how you would like to level up in the world of Azeroth. At the starting zone of every one of its current 10 races, and yes, that's 2 more than Vanilla originally had, there's a special Glyph Master NPC who offers both explanations and the ability to turn on various leveling methods. Currently, there are 5 of these methods of leveling, those being Glyph of War, which permanently turns on PvP throughout your adventures, but awards you with a 20% boost in experience and honor gains from all sources. So that's dungeons, quests, mob killing, battlegrounds, whatever kind of thing you can do that gives XP and honor, you're going to get 20% more of that. Then the next one is the Glyph of the Turtle, which reduces all monster slaying experience by 50% except in dungeons, but it rewards you every 10 levels with some wonderful treasures to help you in your journey. One thing to note though is if you die in the open world or in a dungeon whilst using the Glyph of the Turtle, you will lose 5% of your current level's experience. So that's a little thing you gotta watch out for. Then the third one is the Glyph of Exhaustion. It makes your character unable to gain any rested experience, but on the other hand, it doubles your weapon skill gain via fighting monsters. So maybe if you're, keen on killing things instead of chilling at an inn and role-playing, that might be something you would enjoy. Then the fourth glyph is the Glyph of the Vagrant, which makes leveling significantly harder by only allowing you to use items of poor and common qualities. You're also going to be restricted from using any enchants, which is a big thing. This is quite the difficult task usually for people and significantly pressures one's skills on the battlefield. But on the other hand, adventurers who do complete this daring challenge do get rewarded with a special companion known as the Forewarned Mule. You can actually see some people running around the server with it. It looks pretty freaking sick. Then again, for some of the more experienced of Azeroth's adventures, even a challenging feat like that would be like a walk in Elven Forest. And for that very reason, Turtle WoW has also implemented the ability to make your character mortal, meaning if they were to die, whether that be in the open world, dungeon, or anywhere else, they're permanently dead. So that means they get deleted. Otherwise, this system is called the hardcore mode. Many of WoW's players are already aware of this system, and thus also Turtle WoW has it, just in case you're interested in that type of gameplay. If you wish to take on the challenge of a hardcore character, you must find the mysterious stranger within the starting area of your character's race. Then you simply pick up the quest which he offers and deliver it back to him, and thus becoming a hardcore character. But again, watch out. If you die, it's kaput. Even the customer support's not going to get that character back, okay? So really be careful with it. You gotta, think of strategies before you attack something. After you get in your first levels, sooner or later you're going to be heading to a town outside of your starting area. Usually it's a good idea to log off within an inn in order to get some additional rested experience, which provides a 200% experience buff to killing monsters the next time you decide to continue your adventure. In Turtle WoW, they actually have multiple new professions, from which one is called Survival. Without really going into too much depth, the profession does allow people to craft these placeable tents, or tarps, whatever you want to call them. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell does a tent have to do with World of Warcraft and gaining levels? Well, these tents actually provide the same rested experience buff when your character is resting in an inn when you're sitting underneath the tent. Many players usually place these tents outside the capital cities where lots of hardworking adventurers, like yourself, like to group up in order to receive this minor yet very helpful buff. Often you can even join some roleplay whilst waiting for the rested experience to increase. Just remember, there is a cap on how much rested experience you can get, so AFKing under the tent for like 30 minutes isn't really going to give you any benefits. After you're there for like 2 or 3 minutes, you're probably set, unless you get really deep into some roleplay you want to finish, but that's a different story in itself. Okay, now that you've gotten a good foot into the door in terms of leveling, there's 2 additional things I wanted to cover within this video. First of which are dungeons. Dungeons can be a really great way to meet new people, get some pretty sick loot, and even substantial amount of experience, especially if you have the corresponding dungeon quests. In Turtle WoW, there is a dungeon finder tool which can be used to find other players who might be interested in delving into a dungeon with you. Just remember one thing, since this is vanilla, there are no teleports to dungeons unless you have a warlock in the group. So whilst the dungeon finder tool will help you find some buddies and fill the ranks you need, it won't exactly give you a quick loading screen to the dungeon, meaning you'll actually have to travel out to the entrance of the dungeon. So take that into account when grouping up for this type of content. The second thing I wanted to cover are some very useful add-ons, which will help both in leveling experience and post-leveling, as well as maybe just, create a bit more magic in the whole process. All these add-ons I'm about to mention are optional, so you can fully play the game, complete all the quests and everything without having them. And the Turtle WoW wiki, where you can find more information about them, as well as their download links, will be in the description below. So make sure to check that out after the video. The first add-on I wanted to showcase is PF Quest. This specific add-on just helps you find the quests appropriate for your level. It shows you where you can actually complete them, where are the mobs, how long does it take for the mobs to respawn, and what are the drop chances for the various quest items you might need. For example, if you're gonna go and kill some boars in Westfall, it'll show you what's the chance that they'll drop the meat you need, where exactly can you find these boars, and it's just overall quite useful. The second add-on I wanted to talk about was Atlas and its extension Atlas Quest. Most people in the older versions of World of Warcraft use this specific add-on in order to check out the maps of dungeons and raids, but in Turtle WoW they actually implemented some maps already in the base server, meaning, for example, if you go to the Dead Mines in Westfall, you can just hit the letter M key and it'll open up your map and you'll see the inside of the dungeon just like that, so you don't need the add-on for that. The reason why this Atlas Quest extension is so required is so you can actually check out the quests for the specific dungeon. So for example, if you want to do those exact Dead Mines and you're an Alliance player, you can simply use this add-on to check out what kind of quests for this specific dungeon are there and where you can find them, what are the level requirements, and what you actually have to do. It's very useful, so you don't have to sit on Wowhead or some other place like that and look for all these quests specifically or ask in general chat. It just eases the process a little bit. The third add-on I really wanted to talk about is the AI voiceover add-on. Some of you might already heard about this, but it's actually insanely good. The idea is very simple. It provides you the ability to listen to the characters you're speaking to in the world. It's all like pre-recorded, I guess you can say, so it's not completely, flushed out, and not every single quest in the game is in there, and not every single piece of dialogue. And obviously the Turtle WoW custom quests aren't in there. But for example, if you make a new human character and you simply just go pick up a quest in the very starting area, it'll actually read you the quest dialogue in the voice of the soldier giving the quest, and that makes you get immersed way more into the story and what's going on. For example, I played Westfall, 100 times by now probably in my years of playing WoW. But this time when I actually tried using this add-on and I listened a little bit into what's going on, because who the hell is going to read it? But listening, that's a bit more interesting. And you go through Westfall, you go through Duskwood, and you go through Red Ridge Mountains, and you start understanding the situation, where people are, in the midst of like fighting back, like Murlocs and Defias members and all this other stuff, and the king's not sending the army to help, and a bunch of other stuff. It gets the whole leveling experience like in a completely different like point of view, because you're not doing it anymore for just getting the number go higher. You're actually like it just pretty much makes the whole thing a bit more interesting. That's why I'm actually recommending it. Okay, for the end of the video, we can do a quick recap so you're on the right path afterwards. When starting to level on Turtle WoW, if you're interested, check out some of the more unique leveling ways along with the ability to make your character hardcore for a real challenge. After that, if you're able to, pick up some rested XP from the tents or tarps outside your faction capital for some additional boosts on mob kills, and once you ding 15, you can try and group up with some other players for some dungeon content in order to get better gear and make your life a bit easier during those normal quests. And at the very end, check out some more add-ons for your game, which are linked below, so your experience is a bit more tidy and immersive, since again, it'll take some time, so better not waste it, but instead enjoy it. Besides that, I'll see you in Azeroth, and solids out.